It was back in March at an East Baltimore apartment here on North Linwood, where a frantic call to a local bank from a woman inside ended up saving her life.
The young lady was saying that she was being held against her will, being held hostage, and she was being robbed.
Investigators say while the woman was on the phone with her bank saying her captor was trying to steal money from her account, the teller called 911, leading police right to her location.
Due to the quick actions from the bank, this young lady was able to be rescued, positively identified.
When officers went to the home where the call was coming from, they say they were greeted by 41-year-old Nicholas Baker. While he denied anyone else was inside, police eventually found a woman in the basement, seemingly suffering from extreme abuse.
She made several comments that if they didn't find her that night, he would have killed her.
Tony Gause is a senior inspector with the U.S. Marshals Service,
Laceration to the back of her head.
who says the woman told police Baker had been holding her hostage, drugging, and even beating her.
She had 2 broken ribs, multiple bruises all over her body, as well as her legs.
Signs of severe domestic abuse, investigators say, was all to allegedly try and force her to turn over her recently deposited stimulus check.
It was demanded that she do this. She did it with absolutely no chance of saying no. And when she did, that's when she was choked unconscious and beaten multiple times, thrown down the steps. It's horrendous what actually happened to this young lady.
She's lucky she was found.
This is a real life story where this young lady was rescued.
While the victim was taken to safety, police say Baker ran from the apartment right after he let them inside and hasn't been seen since.
We believe he's still in the state of Maryland, thinking that no one will see him or no one will pay him any attention, but Mr. Baker's, he's going to be the person that we're definitely trying to find.
The marshals say Baker has ties to Baltimore, but is also known to frequent parts of Howard County and believe he may be trying to hide out right in plain sight.
Someone may know that he's a quote-unquote hothead or an individual with anger issues, but at this point in time, I think that it's not until someone sees this broadcast that they will actually find out who he really is and what he's really capable of.
A man investigators say physically and emotionally abused his victim for months and needs to answer for those crimes.
It's just a horrendous situation where she was beaten that bad, and it was all over her stimulus check.
Well, take a good look again. Nicholas Baker is 41 years old. Again, still on the run in this case. The update tonight, though, is that the U.S. Marshals say they've received a number of tips about Baker's whereabouts. I'm joined now by Senior Inspector with the U.S. Marshals Service, Tony Gause. And Tony, what can you tell us right now? I mean, have you got some credible tips?
Yes, so far we did receive some information since the first airing of Mr. Baker's crime, reference to the stimulus check robbery and kidnapping and attempted murder aspect. The information we received was deemed very credible, so we do know who the person is that he's supposed to be traveling with and staying with. At this time, because of this second broadcast and with the update, we're hoping that that person will come forward because we're quite sure that it's a long, rough ride having to deal with Mr. Baker, his attitude, his violence, and possible whatever kind of mental state he's in at the time and what he may do to that person.
And we've seen a lot of the folks on our most wanted list here helped by friends, families, people who are trying to help them evade capture from you.
Absolutely, and that's another thing that we want that person to know. This is your time to get on and get off the boat. If you stay on, you will be charged as an individual with aiding, abetting, and harboring a fugitive. If you decide to turn Mr. Baker in or tell us how we can get Mr. Baker in a safe manner, safe for everyone, then it's not a problem. You can try to keep yourself out of trouble, and then we can go ahead on whatever prosecution that he has to face.
And those tips from you, our viewers, are key. The Marshals tip line is right here. If you know where Baker is or anyone on our most wanted list over here, please call the U.S. Marshals Service tonight. Again, any tips that go in can remain anonymous. For Tony Gause, I'm Dan Lamparello, and this is Maryland's Most Wanted.